What is up, y'all? It is me, HTG Brian, and we are live with the 2022 September Game Break. I know. It wasn't supposed to be Game Break this morning. Game Break was originally supposed to be at 5 p.m., but due to some real life stuffs, it just didn't work out as planned. So, on that note, I do want to wish hope everything is well out to the Tudester. Tude wasn't feeling very well. Nothing big or serious or anything like that, but just was kind of having an off day, we'll say. So hopefully that works out soon. Also, Nam got called in and wasn't supposed to. Oh, we got a freak. Drex is a freak. He got a pig ear. Funny enough, I gave it to him yesterday. Hi, buddy. How are you? This is quite the surprise. I couldn't have asked for a better co-host. How you doing? You want to say anything to anybody? Look up here. Say hi. Say, I'm Drexler. I'm the cutest dog ever. Get your piggy. So he'll probably be in and out whining for the next few minutes. He gets super excited and doesn't know what to do with himself. When we first got him, I thought like something was wrong with him because he would go into these weird fits. But anyways, no Apex, although I did play a few games with Gray this morning. We crossed paths. He and I hadn't played any games in probably, I don't know, Gray, are you still out there? It's probably been a month and a half, 2 months, just with his new work schedule and, you know, me being sick and all the other stuff going on. It just never really worked out. But anyways, yeah, so on that note, welcome back, guys. Good to see yous. Let's jump right into some stat stuff here. As per usual with game breaks, I don't necessarily go over and say hey to everybody. Most of you I've already been chatting with and hanging out, and if you come in late, I will usually say hey. All right, so YouTube stats. As I've been mentioning the last couple of weeks, look, I'm not lying, y'all. Like, it's different right now. I looked at the last couple of years, the Septembers, and they're fairly similar. So I guess in all reality, I'm not hitting the freak out button yet. But I mean, last month we had 1,600 subs. 16, that's a lot. We have basically 500 plus less. And that's maybe a little bit lower than our average too, because we were averaging about 2,000, 1,900, 2,000 for a long time. Watch time and views is like crazy low too. Like we were floating around that million mark for a long time. And then all of a sudden we just sort of plummeted. Like the last month or two, it's just been really weird. And why that is, I don't exactly know. I'm just noticing it looks like my, frame is a little bit off here, so let me fix that. All right. Whoopsie. You know, I've been uploading lots of Star Wars stuff. Obviously, it's the not essential needed stuff, the stuff that we were debating whether or not I should even do. So it's not like I'm expecting tons and tons of views on that. Streams, you know, the games have been actually surprisingly low. The games that I always expect to do well seemingly don't perform nearly as well as I would hoped. And others that I wasn't expecting to do well are crushing it. So, like even Modern Warfare Beta, that's analytically, that's doing better than a lot. Like watch time, especially not so much views, but the watch time, like people watch that a lot. And you know, I guess there was some exclusivity with that beta, which kind of makes sense. You go back a couple of weeks and we had the Multiverses stream where I couldn't even play. We had like, I don't know how many thousands of views on the video. And, you know, we had like almost 200 viewers at once. Yeah, keep rolling, man. It's your show. Just go ahead and steal it from me. But yeah, so optimistic about the next few months. I know that there will be like a wave of Christmas stuff, right? There's going to be all sorts of, you know, people, families, kids, everybody that's going to get, you know, different Lego games, whether it's for their Switch or their PC or whatever. And there's always a kind of a boost in that department. And by then I'll have most of the Star Wars, the Skywalker saga done. As you guys know, I've been stretching that out a little bit because we don't have a lot of content now. I did mention the other day, and I'll mention it again in the next day or two. In fact, I'm hoping to get it today. I'm going to get a code for a game that I won't be able to share with you until October 12th, I believe, is when the embargo and the release date is. But it's called Lego Brick Tales, and it's different. It's not a traditional Lego game. There's no mini kits or anything like that. There will not be a guide, I don't think. I got to get my hands on it first and kind of see how it works out. I feel like it'll be a stream game. I feel like it'll do well as a stream game. I feel like if there's a need for a guide, I'll definitely talk to my people and see what is up. Anyways, yes, no, there's a couple of people that have just flipped 2 years occupied. I mean, you are obviously representing 2 years. Kirsten and Ray's, who Ray's isn't here today due to a family thing too. So hopefully that's going well. And yeah, so lots of people. I know that the other day, who was it the other day? Somebody came in. Oh, it was Demon. Demon had, but it was weird. It still showed us 1 year, even though it said 24 months. I love that he's like hanging out up here. Reese was supposed to get up. He had a late night last night, and I don't know if he's out of bed yet. So Drex is kind of gravitating towards where the people are. Oh, by the way, let me hit the Twitter button. I know that Twitter, Ben is not here. The Twitter button. Okay, should be good. I hope it's good. I pushed the button, so it's out. Anyways, let's see here. Like I said, optimistic about stuff. Always appreciate your guys' support. Most of you who are here now are really like a huge part of those numbers. Like, and I really appreciate your time and support. Reese is not hungover. Well, he might be a little hungover. They were playing Valorant last night. They hadn't played Valorant in a while. He's got like a whole squad that he plays with, and they hadn't played in days or weeks. And last night I went and saw him, but you have the membership option, huh? Oh, interesting. Do I have the member? I do not. I have super stickers and super chat. I do not have the gifting membership option. What's up, Brian? The Patreon link is having issues. What link? What? Yes, the description one. What do you mean? What do you mean it's having issues? The one in the video description, to go to Patreon, like our patreon.com/happythumbsgaming. Is it because it's ... What's going on there, huh? How about now? I fixed it. Reload and try it again. I appreciate that, man. At first I was like, what? What are you talking about? What you talk about, Willis? you might not be old enough for that one. All right. So, 178,000, we're still creeping. I mean, at this rate, 1,000 subs a month, it's going to be a lot longer to get to that next big 250 milestone. But, we'll get some momentum likely come Christmas time, holidays. All right. So next up, as you guys know, I was super stressed out for a number of reasons earlier this month, but one of the main ones was that I was pushing towards a car show. I've been very active with my car buddies and gone to a couple of small meets and on a couple of cruises. And, on one of those cruises, a friend of mine asked me if I was going to a future Volkswagen show. And I said, yeah, of course I'm going. And he said, well, are you showing? Are you racing? What are you doing? I said, no, I'm not doing any of this. He said, well, I'm showing because there wasn't a lot of cars there last year. And I figured I have a pretty decent chance of winning. And also there's, better parking scenarios. So like the way the drag strip is it's basically like a giant box, right? Like a huge square. And sort of right in the middle of that square is the drag strip, which is over a quarter mile long. It's not a half mile, but it's definitely a lot longer. And it has a fair amount of room behind it, like parking lot space, pull in, loading, all that stuff, right? So it's probably at least a half mile total. But the strip itself is, but anyway, so it's right in the middle. You've got your parking way over here. And like after like the first hour, you got to park way out there because it's like this small little rectangle. It's not very wide. So there's only probably like, I don't know, 7 or 8 cars per row, which isn't very many. And all the rows fill up. There's usually 100+ rows. So in past years, it's been really hot and everything. So my friend suggested that we show the cars. And so I was like, all right, it's like $5 more. No big deal. And that being said, I opted to do it. And then I started like thinking, okay, I'm not going to be the crappiest Volkswagen there. So I started like doing stuff. I started like cleaning my engine. I got my roof wrapped, which I've been wanting to do for like 2 years, but I just never pulled the trigger, partly because I needed to get my car painted. And if you remember, not long ago, I actually got it painted. So I slowly was progressing towards getting that done. And we ordered that electric Volkswagen that's going to match it and everything. So did all this stuff. And then I was like, oh, my wheels are crappy. So I looked at buying new wheels and I was like, no, I'm going to get my wheels fixed. And when I got my wheels fixed, the tire shop totally messed up my brakes. Now, 2 summers ago, I had my brakes upgraded on my car, and they're nice, and they have like a label on them that wasn't on the original car. Like they didn't come with a GTI. So I had like all this upgraded, nice, freshly painted awesomeness, took really good care of it. It still looked like it was done like weeks ago. These guys messed up my stuff. So I was really stressed out. But the time finally came, you guys, and, you know, the show's called Pacific Waterlands. And essentially, you can see here there's all sorts of stuff that have happened over the years. They have the Vanagon Cram, which you see on the left there, where they try to fit as many people as possible into one Vanagon. I think they had 43 people this year. Not even kidding. They do all sorts of stuff, from burnouts to races to car shows. So I started getting my bad boy ready. Now, you can't really tell from this angle, but I had freshly had the top wrapped black. My wing, as you can see, sort of off the backside there, is also wrapped black. Here's a look at my wheel. If you remember, this wheel was destroyed due to me hitting a curb on Christmas, and I literally curbed it halfway around. They're perfect now. Look how clean my engine bay is. This is kind of a close-up. We get another shot in a minute a little further back. But I mean, look at the valve cover. Look at everything is like brand new. I would legit eat off it, although I'd be mad I left grease spots. My exhaust was clean. I even got like the inch or so inside and got it all spanking and sparkly. Like, I'm not kidding, guys. I spent days getting ready. And here we are. We're actually towards the end here. There's tons of cars. This picture doesn't really do it justice. There was over 300 cars in line in front of us, and we had gone all the way down and around to get our photo, which I still haven't received yet. You get this special photo with a green screen, and we pulled in, and it was pretty cool. But there's another shot of the engine bay there, and here, a little live footage. There's Reese's big old trunks there. There's the car. You can see the wrap. You can see some of the other Mark 6 cars, not only on the left, but also on the right, and a couple even behind me. And that was wifey standing there with the yellow shirt on. But you can see there's tons of cars in the show, you guys. This is all like the Golf GTI. And there was a couple of Jettas scattered in there, but not a lot of Jettas in this section here. Here's my buddy Greg's R32, but unfortunately there was a buttload of R32s that showed up. They also classified the R32s with the 337s, the 20th anniversaries, and there was one other one. So basically, instead of like 2 or 3 people, in fact, there's Greg and Tiffany right there, his wife. I didn't even realize. And there's Reese and Jillian too. I didn't realize they made the video, but there's the Radio Flyer Audi. That thing is like nationally famous right there in the back, that red Audi. Bunch of cars, Audis, and all sorts of stuff went out that way. So this was a completely different area of the meet, but it looked a lot. I mean, it probably looks all the same to you guys because they're Volkswagens. Some people had some really cool displays. I thought this was one of the most creative ones, and I've got an actual creative idea that I'm going to try to pull off for next year, but it's going to cost me a ton of money. But look how cool that is. They basically turned a Pokemon card into a display sheet for that. This was cool too. We picked up a sunflower that was actually made out of an old Volkswagen hubcap and a brake caliper and some other metal parts. Oh, racing. Shh. Hopefully this isn't too loud. Let me know if it is. I'm looking for it. That guy in the red Corrado that was racing there, he's been racing for over 20 years. When I used to race my Jetta, he was around. I don't know how loud it is for me in this, but this was the burnout competition. This was late in the burnout. This guy had been burning out for a good 90 seconds or more before I started recording. And it's funny because, like, you get this silver dollar for winning. It's legit worth $10. It's a silver dollar, so it's like a special coin. It's in like a little mint box. They had 2 silver dollars. These dudes are ripping through what are, like, the tires on most of these cars cost, $200 to $400 a piece. Right? And they're ripping through 2 of them. So that's $200 to $400 that this guy's are. There was like 6 or 7 burnouts. This one likely should have been the winner. However, they snuck a BMW in. This was supposed to be a Volkswagen burnout competition. And this rear wheel drive M3 BMW comes in and just, and it was pretty fun. It stunk big time. But a couple days goes by and turns out, guess what, guys? I ended up placing second. I know that some of you have already seen this, but this was pretty awesome. So out of, I don't know how many Mark 6 GTIs, that's what classification was, Golf and GTI Mark 6. So probably 10 or so total cars, not a ton, but enough that second place is really meaningful. And, you know, we've been laughing and joking because since then I've got custom plates. I had ordered them long before the show and I was hoping they'd get here before then, but they didn't. But it ended up being that, you know, the brakes were scuffed up. There was a couple of, I didn't really have a lot of fancy stuff to go with my car. As you probably noticed, I had the eyes that look like Lightning McQueen or whatever. So that was kind of fun. It turned my car into like a cartoon, but let's see here. I know that Kirsten was saying some stuff. Let's see here. Your gift will be publicly announced. Luckily, recipients. Oh, so we don't get to choose. Okay, so interesting. Do we know who it is yet? Has it done it yet? And let's see here. Yeah, memberships randomly gifted. Brian, I have a surprise for you. When you get to the $5 per month Patreon thing, I'm making good money through. Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, Ben, as of right now, I will not be able to update today, but I will give a verbal mention when I'm showing it. Okay, and Kirsten didn't buy any. So, fun fact: this was totally not part of my plan, but I'm gonna talk about it anyways because Kirsten and I were messing with this yesterday. So, Kirsten ran into an article and it said, you know, all YouTube channels now have access to the gifting memberships, and so she was like, "Hey, have you looked lately and seen if you can do that?" Because I've talked about it a lot, and I want to do that. And so not knowing how it worked or anything like that, we started talking about it and started researching, and I started looking, and there was no signs of any of it on my channel. So we dug further and further and further, and without boring you guys to sleep, we essentially found out that my account long ago, probably on its original creation, was set up as a brand account. Because guess what? We're a brand. Happy Thumbs is a brand. Happy Thumbs Gaming is an LLC. It's registered in the state of Oregon. It's been a business for over a decade. So that is our appropriate filing. It also allows me to do some other things. Like, for example, I have appointed a couple of, like, my wife's account and one of my secondary accounts as managers. So if something ever were to happen to like my main account, I have access, or should have access, to the actual admin stuff still, which I can't do if it's not a brand account. So there is some stuff that really benefits me. But then we started talking about, okay, well, what if I don't need that stuff with two-factor authentication and all these other 3 or 4 steps to do stuff? I found that, like, maybe I wouldn't need it. But then I started thinking, well, crap, remember when I tried to switch from full screen to just AdSense? Remember how, like, long and how troublesome and probably, like, and all the back and forth with Google and you, and like, it sucked. Like, I ended up missing a month of pay and all, like, it was just not great, right? So, I'm skeptical about doing that. So we talked about the possibilities of maybe if, you know, someday they'll change it, that'll be great. But if it doesn't until then, maybe I could, like, you know, slip Kirsten some money and it'll be just like I was gifting. It'll be coming from her, but it'll be coming from me, right? So we're talking about that, and we didn't know until right now that it was even an option for her, and she has discovered that it is an option. So by no means am I suggesting that anybody needs to utilize this feature yet. It's something that I would like to do, but the problem that I'm really finding is that I won't be able to select anybody. So like if somebody's like been a long-term viewer and they deserve a membership and we want to gift it to them, I don't think we can do that. I think it just sort of selects. But anyway, so we'll have to look into that more as time goes on. It is sort of a new feature. It's been sort of slowly being deployed on multiple channels for a while. Mine was probably eligible a while ago, but because it was a brand account, it just got overlooked. So we'll have to come back to that at a later date. But just note that is another way that you could support. It doesn't help me, but, like, you know, you could throw $5 in there or whatever. Zygo, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for all your Lego videos. Currently, I'm almost done all 57 Lego games, 100%. Nice. Did you get the Skywalker saga all wrapped up? I mean, I'm dragging my feet on it. And free roam's pretty self-explanatory for the most part. I've found that there are always 1 or 2 kind of puzzles or situations where I'm like, where is this? You know, or whatever. But we're a video where some info would help. But for the most part, they're fairly easy. Let's see here. Well, with GTA hackers pleading not guilty, if he gets not guilty, Take-Two will probably send 47 agents. That's a weird. Is there significance to that number, Brad, or were you just like just like blowing it out of proportion? Let's see, Saga times two, PS4 and five. Nice. Uh, I've got. I'm almost so when I get done with free roam on PS5 with the videos and everything, and I get all the challenges and all the like, the extra cleanup or whatever, I will still have probably like I don't know 40, 50 mini kits and like 20 challenges to do, and likely a few miscellaneous things. But I will have my PS4 done too because I've been as far as free roam goes, I've been doing a run on the PS4 and finding where all the solutions, right, where the fuses are and where all of everything, right. So and then when I go to the PS5, I have just played all of it, so it's fresh in my mind, and usually I'm pretty good with that. Ollie, looks like I missed you. You slid in here a minute ago. What's up? Good to see you. I dislike my job in only 1 month. Uh-oh, that's not good. If I know where I love my job, only 1 month anniversary. Yep, that's he just actually recently got it. It's a brand new situation for Ben, and that's awesome, and he's loving it. Agent 47 is one of the best assassins. So I wondered if that was, I thought that, but the way it was worded, I wasn't sure. Fun fact for you. I am familiar. I am familiar. But yeah, so all right, moving along with like planned stuff. Most of you guys know. Sadly, I actually hit. I wouldn't call it a life goal, but I hit an expectation that we knew was coming for a long time. COVID obviously has been around for a couple of years now, and somehow with my wife being a teacher and my son being a high school student, we avoided it. At least we showed no signs of it. None of us got sick, which was great because my mother-in-law is here more often than she's not these days, especially since the pandemic. And, she's not super old, but as we talked the other day, she's in that vulnerable age group. So it's always been extra important for us to be safe and do as much as we can to prevent ourselves from being sick. And so we did pretty good, but, not last Friday, but the Friday before, I was streaming the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 beta. I had mentioned my wife had stayed home sick. She had been sick the night before too. She tested for COVID on Thursday and she was negative. She ended up going to a doctor's appointment, had them look at her. She got an inhaler and stuff because they're like, oh, you must have asthma or whatever. But no, that was actually COVID setting in for whatever reason, the test showed negative. The next morning, or it was probably about this time, it was probably at 10:30, 11 o'clock, my wife messaged me while I was streaming. I just took another test and I am COVID positive. I was like, oh, crap. And I kept making jokes throughout the stream like I was playing so badly because I was sick too and COVID was taking away my Call of Duty skills. And anyways, the very next day, I actually tested positive. Now, some of you know that... basically, I thought I was gonna die for a minute. Like I've heard all the stories. I had my friend who was in the hospital on oxygen and all this stuff, and I had a temperature, and I ended up. Long story short, I ended up in the bathroom after a sequence of things. I ended up on the floor, and I was sort of leaning up against the shower wall or the door, and apparently I passed out because the next thing I remember, I'm like flopped back with my head up on the door, sort of jammed, like all super uncomfortable. And Reese was knocking on the door like, are you all right in there? I was like, I don't know. And, I know I had at least a temperature of like 101.7, 101.8, could have been higher. It was scary. My wife was on the other side of the house because she had gone to the guest room because she'd been coughing so much. She felt bad for me and thought I was going to be up all night. And she didn't really know I was that sick yet because I'd just sort of been getting the symptoms but like hot and cold, like, fever stuff. And I mean, I've never had that happen. Like I've never had that happen. After that, it was sort of just like, I couldn't get enough rest. That was mostly my experience. There was the first 3 nights, I had like hot and cold sweats. So like I'd go to bed and I'd be so cold, like, oh my God, I'm so cold. And then I'd wake up like 2 hours later. And I've mentioned this, we have a Tempur-Pedic bed. So, you sink into like your hole, and we have a mattress cover, which is like waterproof and whatever to protect from any spills or anything on that special foam, right? Because it's an expensive bed. And all the water, all your sweat just pools up and sits there. So like it was like like we were washing our sheets on the reg, which like we're bad about doing it as much as we should, but every day was ridiculous. And I hate this stupid duvet cover. I know I've talked about this with Rays before. I hate it because you have to unzip and you have to untie all these 75 little tiny things. Otherwise, if you don't, the blanket gets lost inside the cover, and oh my God. And then it becomes like this mess, and I hate that. But all in all, surprisingly, our savior was actually Reese. Throughout all of COVID, Reese stayed more or less at his desk and in his bedroom the whole time. His desk is across the house from us. There's a couple of windows and a door, and we had a fan running. So basically we kept that open as much as possible. Luckily it was like 75, 80 degrees almost the whole time we had COVID. And luckily we have AC because we were able to be staying in a cool house and all that. But, Reese went to the grocery store for us. He went and got food multiple times where we'd order like, pizza or, chicken and rice or whatever, and he'd go pick it up for us. Lots of soup and sandwiches and that kind of stuff the first couple of days, but then it started getting into more. So like it sucked, you guys. But I mean, we lucked out. Like the first 24, 48 hours was like scary for me. Wife is still, I sound bad now. Like I'm still stuffed up and I'm still kind of fighting a cough here and there. My wife is, though, she sounds terrible and she's got no energy. And of course she works at a high school that's huge, and she's running all over, and she comes home every day like, she's been trying to go to bed at like 7:30, you guys. Not even kidding. Which was really difficult because we were sort of worried that with COVID that we were maybe going to miss out on some things. A couple months ago, we went to our Eagle Crest trip, and weeks ago anyways, we went, and it ended up being we had a down point. We were messing around on the computers and stuff. And I found that Kevin Smith and the Clerks 3 convenience tour was coming here. So we were like totally like hoping to get to go to that. Well, it was coming up and we had COVID and we're like, oh my gosh, we're going to miss on this. Luckily we got good and everything. And what's up, Michael? Nikolai, what's up? Definitely worked out in our favor. I think I told you guys, I'll tell the short version too. So Tuesday, we were going to the thing. Tuesday, my wife also had planned a dog groomer to come here to get Drexler's nails did. She was supposed to be here for it. Not that it matters, but like she made the plan and she made it so she was, she ended up having a late meeting. She wasn't able to make it. So she called me like 45 minutes before. I was like, all right, cool. Knowing that we had this thing tonight, we had dinner plan and everything. I had to go get the meat out of the freezer and start thawing it. I let Drexler outside and went and got the meat and thawed it, went up, got my drink, came back. And again, long story short, I lost Drexler. I ran all over the neighborhood, yelling, hollering for him, looking for him. Thought somehow he jumped over the fence or whatever. Well, smart guy had slid into the garage right behind me. When I went out to the freezer, he went out to the other open area, and then I went in and didn't see him and closed the door, and then couldn't find him. He wasn't in my room. He wasn't in his bed or on the couch. He wasn't outside, and he was gone. So, anyways, I got his nails did and got him back, and obviously he was never gone. But I mean, I lost him for like 40 minutes, and I'm like running around texting the wife, calling her, and I knew she was in a meeting, but I'm like, I lost Drexler. And the reason I was blowing her up is because she has an app on her phone, which stupidly I don't have, for his tile on his collar. It tracks him so we can find out where he is. That would have been super helpful because I would have found he was just in the stupid garage. But anyways, as the night went on, we actually had a great dinner and everything, and we ended up getting to go see Clerks 3 and the convenience tour. Ultimately, this was one of the greatest life experiences I think I've ever had. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Clerks and Kevin Smith. I've seen all of his movies, even the bad ones like Tusk and I mean, there's a few that are notably bad, like Jersey Girl's another one. Anyways, we'll move on from that. But ultimately, we had a chance to go, and as you guys know too, I'm not very good with like public stuff. I struggle with anxiety, and ultimately, I wasn't sure how it was going to go, and being sick for the last few days, I was super low energy, and like our seats ended up being like way in the back at the very, very, very back, like only 2 rows from the back. And we were kind of under the balcony and all that stuff, and it was a ways down. I'm glad I brought my glasses, but it was pretty sweet. So I don't know if you guys have seen the promotions or anything, but I mean, this is essentially the posters and everything that are going around. But the highlight of the evening was definitely getting to be around Kevin Smith. Now, I didn't get to meet him or shake his hand or anything like that. Like I said, we were in the very far back, but ultimately this was like bucket list stuff for me. As I mentioned, I've seen all his movies and all that stuff. He's got a couple of DVDs, An Evening with Kevin Smith, which he basically just goes to like these colleges and these stages, and he totally just answers questions. And it's funny because he'll be like, you'll ask him a question like, what was your greatest experience while making this movie? He'll spend 20 minutes answering that. Which some people were sort of annoyed by, because a lot of the questions that were being asked were like kind of specific to certain people or whatever. And so it wasn't like, I don't know, there was definitely people that were like, just shut up and let the next guy talk, or like seriously. And ultimately, like I said, it was awesome. So I do have like about a 6-minute clip. Reese recorded it. They were really adamant about not recording stuff. Reese didn't get the memo. So he pulled out and he recorded about, 5.5, 6 minutes. He missed like the intro of him walking out, which was ultimately when I took that photo. Because I took the photo and Jillian was like, they told us not to record, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay. And ultimately, Reese got this footage. So I asked him yesterday, hey, can I get that footage? And he said, if you need to. I said, well, yeah, I do. So here's the kicker. I gotta kind of preemptively warn you. It's Kevin Smith. It's an adult show. It was an adult conversation. And ultimately, there's a lot of language. There's references to him smoking a little stuff. So I'm just kind of preemptively letting anybody out there who maybe that's above your pay grade, maybe you shouldn't be watching or listening to that. I'm giving you a chance to like take off. But essentially, this was kind of what we got to experience. I'm going to likely adjust it a little bit as it moves on. So it starts off, the Zoom is not in. There's a couple of guys in front of us that were like coming and going. So there's like a minute or two of this is not perfect video. I'm hoping the audio is good enough for you guys to hear. You'll have to let me know. I've got it turned up all the way and the EQ is right in the good zone, but I don't think I can turn it up anymore. There's no like booster or anything. So again, lots of foul language and stuff. I'm going to mute my mic and I'm going to watch it on my end over here because for some stupid reason, I still can't hear any of the stuff that's coming through there. So let me hit this real quick and let me hit pause there. Okay. You guys ready? And if you can't hear it or something's too loud or whatever, let me know. I still got the chat up. So I'm going to mute up.
Kids, we're going to have a good time. Before we get into this bullshit, though, just a story with some local color. I've been enjoying the fine city. I've been here before. We were here at the Reboot Roadshow tour back in 2019. So happy to see so many of you still alive after COVID. But I got to engage with the city of Salem today. I went shopping and shit, and I needed a piece of luggage because I've collected a lot of stuff on the way as we've been on the road. And we now jump from here to San Francisco, so we have to abandon the vehicle. When you're in a car driving and shit, you collect a lot of stuff along the way. So I need to pick up a piece of luggage so I can put it on the plane and go to the next stop. And I went to Target because I was like, Target has fucking everything. And I saw a bag that I thought was incredibly reasonably priced. Where I was like, oh my god, fucking for $100, this whole giant suitcase is $100. You could put a human being in this fucker. And when I'm done with it, perhaps that's what'll happen to it because I'm from New Jersey. So I bought it, and that I also saw. I was in the toy aisle, and I saw a couple of Fisto figures. Ralph Norman played Fisto in my Masters of the Universe, so I bought those figures as well. And so I brought it up to the fucking counter and stuff. And the person checking me out, the clerk, if you will, looked at the two
I think we zoom in here in a second.
And the fucking luggage and was like, what's the story here? And I was like, oh, Oregon, you're so curious. So I fucking paid and got the fuck out of there and got here and went to pack the shit into the suitcase because tomorrow morning we leave pretty early and stuff. So when we're done with the show here, we'll head over to Portland and then fucking just jump on an airplane in the morning. So as I was going to pack the shit, I unzipped the reasonably priced suitcase and had my mind fucking blown because there was another suitcase inside. And I felt like, oh my god, I fucking ripped it off. I just stole from fucking Target and shit like that. And so I took that out, I opened it, another fucking suitcase. I thought it was reasonably priced at $100 for one giant suitcase. I had a fucking sack of fucking suitcases. Now the problem is, I'm not gonna have to bring two empty fucking suitcases on the plane with me. So Liv, we have two suitcases to give away. Look at this fabulous prize. So I know it's apropos of nothing, it may be a little awkward and shit, but does anybody need a suitcase? Oh, you, go ahead, absolutely. Which one do you want, the bigger or the little one? Only one. So we share the love. Which one do you want, little or big? Fuck yeah, take the big one, man. That's a fucking trick question right there. Alright, kids, here's fucking, yeah, right there. He's in the aisle, give it to him. There you go. Now, we all have fucking matching luggage, man. So, this is what I propose to my luggage brothers. Once a year, we gather and go on a trip. With our fucking matching bags. Happy to be here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy to be anywhere. Almost died a couple years ago, but very happy to be here tonight. Sharing this If I seem a little off, it's because I'm at the mercy of smoking local weed and I'm a little fucking fucked up. I don't mind it, I'm proud of it. Generally, I can handle my smoking shit, and I smoke very heavy California weed, but when you're out in the world and you're subject to like what goes on and stuff, and somebody gave me like what I would look down my nose at as a dirt weed joint. And it really fucked me up. That person gave me that fucking joint in Seattle, and halfway here I told the kids we have to turn around. So yeah, it's fucking crazy. Okay, what you're about to see tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I have likened to a reunion, but not like a fucking high school reunion where you're like, oh my god, I have to go to this thing, I have to buy a suit, and I hated all these fuckers 20 years ago. This is like a much better reunion, a reunion that you just happened into, man, and it wasn't planned, you're at a store or something, you run into somebody that you used to run with when you were a fucking kid. You're like, oh, holy shit, how you been? You got just enough time to go grab a drink or grab a smoke, and then you're sitting around chit-chatting, and the day gets lost because you're like having a blast, laughing your ass off, talking about shit that happened fucking decades back that seems as crisp as possible because the person you're talking to is so vibrant, such a vibrant part of your past that they can bring the past to fucking life. Sometimes you get emotional, start breaking one off, crying for the fucking lost folks that aren't here anymore and shit like that. But it becomes one of the greatest fucking nights of your life, man, because you have folded time. You went back in time without fucking a time machine of any sort, and you did so through joy, love, and fucking laughter. Tonight, you're gonna meet some old fucking friends who are gonna make you laugh and make you feel some shit, because ladies and gentlemen, kids, Dante is back. this, I give you Clerks 3. I'll see you kill that.
That was like really cool. I know that Josh is being a hater out there, but beyond that, like for me, you know, I've been a fan of Kevin Smith's. Like I saw Mallrats in the theater. You know, I've been a fan a long time. One of my best friends throughout a pretty amazing time in my life actually introduced me to Clerks. And I think I shared this story with you guys a few months back or a few weeks back. A couple of years ago, I had an opportunity right before COVID. Sadly, my friend had passed away. It's probably been 10 years ago now. And he's got a son that's a year older than Reese. And so, you know, I don't have a lot of contact with his, you know, his kids or his ex-wife or anything like that. But, you know, I reached out to her and I just said, hey, you know, I've got something for your boy and I'd love to introduce, you know, Reese to your boy. And you know, I just think it'd be cool. Like I miss Josh. And so she's like, cool, let's do it. So we went and we took him out to ice cream. And while we were there, I slid across the table a DVD and I said, listen, your father actually introduced me to Kevin Smith and Clerks many years ago, and I liked it so much, I actually kept it from him. And I said, here we are, like 15, 20 years later, I still have the DVD. And I said, knowing that you lost your dad and that this was such a meaningful thing to him, I feel like you should have it. And the wife was just like, oh my God, that's so crazy. That's Joe. I remember that. I was like, yeah. So the kid was super happy. And I was like, you got to ask mom if you can watch the movie because it's not a very good movie. But so I have no idea if, you know, if he was there last at the show or whatever. But it was really cool. I mentioned too, the merch booth got me for quite a bit. This shirt that I'm wearing right now, I'll get a little closer to the camera. It's got a bunch of Jay and Silent Bobs in different forms. Like it's got like Blunt Man and Chronic, and it's got like, you know, Fat Man and the different, like it's awesome. It's a nice sort of, what is that, velvet? No, it's like a nice, really nice material shirt. I ended up buying one of these for me, one of these for Reese, and Reese's buddy Roderick wanted one too. So all three of us got matchies. I also picked up the Quick Stop, like the uniform. It's basically the Quick Stop uniform, so I got that as well. And then we got some Clerks 3 stickers, which I slammed into my sticker stash. I have like a crazy sticker stash. I'm weird about stuff like that. Like I sort of collect and hoard things like stickers and you know, I'm terrible about like getting a new computer or, you know, something that comes like with shiny stuff. They always have that peel away protectant on it, right? I never peel it off ever. Like Reese got a computer that I'd have is like my hand-me-down computer. He got, when I got my new ones, he got one of my old ones. And he was like, why is this crap still on here? This computer's 7 years old, Dad. I'm like, yeah, well, it looks brand new to me. And it did, because he peeled it right off. Well, then I got another new computer and I shifted my other one off and I gave him that one. And that other one became like his secondary computer. And he's like, dude, you did it again. This one's like 6 years old and doesn't have any. I'm like, yep. So pulled it off. I don't know. I'm just bad with stickers and things like that. I try to protect things. I'm a kid from the 80s. I came from a house that like my parents split. So like, you know, stuff's a lot tougher when you're a single person trying to hold down a house and all that stuff. Obviously money was a little different then, maybe a little more affordable than it is in today's world, but you know, still tough. So like if I got a gun, like a squirt gun or any kind of like a pew pew pew, like fun, like noise gun, and I broke it, that was it. I didn't get another one. You know, I was an only child, but I was far from spoiled. So you know, when it comes to like food and all that stuff, I ate as much as I could and I kept protected and did everything I could to keep my bikes and all my things in as great, which it's good, right? Like I'm old now. I still have a lot of those same tendencies. It drives my wife crazy sometimes because I won't peel the plastic off of certain things or whatever. But all in all, like still a good habit, I think. All right. I do have a stream schedule and I also have something else. So I want to sort of remind you guys. I was sort of reluctant to bring this up because I'm likely going to be competing with some of you on this, but today is the last day of the month. Okay. Tomorrow, Lego is releasing a new set. Some of you won't care. Some of you may want it but don't have money. There's going to be lots of reasons why you wouldn't, why you won't get. But the Lego Office set is actually out tomorrow. Now, us living on the West Coast out here, it is available tonight at 9 p.m. So I've got my alarm set for 9 p.m. to remind me, and I'm going to be buying a couple of these, barring I get lucky. And, I'm doing things a little different with the image here. Whoa. This set is pretty awesome. I mean, you've got like all of the regular people. I mean, you got Pam and her front desk. You got Michael's office. You got the conference room. If you look, you even have Dwight and Michael's video that they made, the rap videos on the TV. Remember their demonstration? You got so many of the original cast characters. Now, some people didn't make it. Not everybody made it. Like some of the later additions, like Bernard and stuff, didn't make it. At least that's my understanding. But I mean, you got Toby and you got Jim and you got Dwight and you got Oscar, and you got basically all of the OG cast that's been there forever. So I'm super excited. You even got a little kitty. Did you notice? Look in the right next to Angela. You got the little kitty cat peeking through. See that down in the left corner there? So I'm super hype about that. This comes out again tomorrow. So if you're gonna go to a Lego store or something and buy it, it'll be available tomorrow. Most likely won't be available at other places for a day or two, but I could be wrong. Some places like Targets and things like that have them available. Our Targets never have the good Lego sets. Anything over $100 is rare there. And I've seen some sets, I've seen Hogwarts Castle and some of the bigger, the Tumbler was there at one point at Target. But I mean, not often do we see the big stuff. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that tonight. That's certainly a thing. Now, another thing that's also happening tonight, a little bit sooner than that, and this is actually likely going to distract me from my real plan of getting Lego, but today, the NBA actually returns in preseason form. I know that most of you could care less, but as you guys know, that's my sport of choice. I've always loved basketball, played it all my life, love it. NBA gets my heart a pumping. I love watching not only just my team, but all the teams. And today, it's back. So there was already a game that took place in Tokyo, which was 3 a.m. this morning. It was Golden State played the Washington Wizards. So one game has already happened. Tonight at, I believe, 7 p.m., there is another game where I'm sure I'm going to say it wrong. The Maccabi, is that how you say that? Team plays the Clippers. So it's a non-NBA team is playing. And I think they're playing in a special location. Blazers play Tuesday next week. They're actually playing in Seattle, which is really cool because Seattle hasn't had an NBA team for a long time. They have a WNBA team, they have an NFL team, they have an MLB team, but they do not have an NBA team. And so where the NBA team, the Sonics, used to play, the Blazers are going to be playing who are they playing? I can't remember who we're playing. It's on my calendar. Let's see here. Told the wife that I was switching. I said Apex didn't work out, so I'm doing Gamebreak now. I said, so that means you're free. I'm free this evening. I'm sure that both excites you and terrifies you. She says, yes, it's exciting, but also not exciting. Blazers play the Clippers. Okay, so the Clippers play tonight, and then they play us on wait a minute. It says on Monday. We play on Monday? So it's not Tuesday, you guys? I don't have to wait till Tuesday. It's Monday. Yeah, I knew it was the 3rd. Ha, 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 ha. All right. I'm excited. That's good. All right. I got a stream schedule for you. Oh, it's nice. Drex left his pig ear for us. I'm just now seeing that right there is a slimy pig ear. What's up, Judy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, Lego Office. Where's the RV from Breaking Bad or the plane? Well, I mean, Brad, get some Lego, build it, put it on the ideas set. That's how a lot of these sets are getting built. This office set was an ideas set. It was originally created by somebody like you or me that liked and was a fan of a series, and they made it. You could get a God of War one going. You could, I mean, that's a reality. You have to create it, and if it fits a certain criteria, you can submit it to ideas, which the criteria is pretty easy, and then you have to have people vote on it. And if it reaches 10,000 votes, which isn't really hard to get if you have a big, like The Office, you think it was hard for The Office to get 10,000 votes? People have ways of printing custom minifigs and stuff. I don't know how to do that yet, but and on that same note, my idea, I showed you earlier the Pacific Waterlands car show. I showed there was that Pokemon card that somebody had turned into like a stat sheet, a display build list, if you will, for what the car had. I want to print out a cardboard box that would look like a Lego box, right? But like a decent size one, and have it printed out with like shots of, and make it try to look like a Lego set, which I've got some pretty sweet Photoshop and design skills. I could mock something up to make it look like that. And then have, I a long time ago, you guys may or may not know this, I actually interviewed the world's first female master builder. Her name is Mariana, and very nice lady. She's been involved in a ton of things that we've seen publicly, like big builds like that you see at some of the Lego stores. She's likely responsible for some of the instructions, and probably didn't physically build it with her hands, but some of the designs and things. Like, she was one of the first people. There's like these Lego books that you can buy that have like, I don't remember what the name of it is. I should know this, but I don't. But it's got like all these creative ideas of things to build, right? So like, you provide your Lego, they provide build instructions, and they have all. She was an author of that. It just hit their 10-year anniversary. And so anyways, I don't like know her, but like, we've had conversation over the years, and we're friends on Facebook and whatnot. I want to ask her to build my GTI, the white GTI with the black top, the black wheels, and have it be mine. So there's like Mark 1 GTIs, Mark 2 GTIs, there's Mark 7 GTIs. I've even seen a Mark 8 rough build of some other blocks. They're not Lego, but another, and they called it like the German wagon or something like that. But it wasn't official Lego, and it wasn't close enough to what I wanted. But they don't have a Mark 6, so it's probably gonna cost me like $1,000 to make this happen, because it'll cost tons of money for the Lego bricks. It'll cost money to have her build it. It'll cost money to have, but if I got it done, I could potentially like present it to her like, hey, I want you to build this for me, but I also want you to be cool with like me presenting this to Lego Ideas and trying to get 10,000 votes. And obviously it'd be like a combined effort, right? Like my concept, your expertise, our project. I don't know if it'll work like that or not, but I'd love to do it. And if nothing else, I would love to make the build instructions available for like Rebrickable and some of the other websites out there. If you guys aren't familiar with that, it's crazy how many mocks, MOC, my own creations that people have made. You can almost, like an Oscar Mayer hot dog, it's probably got a bun and there's probably a hot dog in a bun. There's tons of things. And I don't mean just like a little tiny, I mean like somebody's built like a giant hot dog bun with a and ketchup and like, you name it. There's foods, there's cars, but in specific to my car, there isn't a Mark 6. So that's why I think that would be awesome. And then have it be on display. So like pop my hatch, right? And I've got like my fancy subwoofers and all that stuff. Then I could have like the Lego box and have like the Lego car sitting there. So it would still be in my car and sort of out of reach, probably still theftable, but it would still be really cool. So I haven't talked to her about it yet. She was just celebrating her release of her book the other day, and I liked it, and I was going to comment, but I didn't want to take away from that. So, but definitely, I think that would put me to the next level. If I had like a build of my car in Lego with what looked like a Lego, like an official Lego box, right? Like, that would be pretty epic, I think. I mean, maybe I'm just tooting my, but especially if like the hood open and the doors open and stuff too. Whoo-wee. All right, I'm getting too excited over my own good here. All right, stream schedule. This will be for, the next week or two. It's likely to change. If it does change, I'll try to get it updated and post it on the community page, which I don't know if you guys use the community page often. I try to post a bunch of stuff like today's mishap with Apex and the changing. I posted that this morning to let you guys know, when I was sick, I posted there. It's funny. Sometimes I post and there's like hundreds of likes, and sometimes there's like 7. So it's like, I don't always know when there's 7 likes if only 7 people saw it, or if 700 people saw it and 7 liked it or whatever. But this is what we're looking at for schedule for the next couple of, days/weeks. Like obviously today was supposed to be Apex. It didn't work out. That should change next week. The availability of people will likely be much better next week, and I will try to find a plan B for that. If not, we've got Power Wash that's getting pretty close to being in the final stretches there. I've got, according to the achievement list, I've got 5 more areas that will require a full pressure wash and all that. I've got a couple of achievements that I missed in the early stages, but now that I have a powerful washer and things, I can go back. There's also a ton of purchases I have to make, but if you guys remember, I haven't been wasting my money on fluid cleaners or anything like that. So like I've basically got almost every penny I've ever earned minus what I've spent on the actual stuff. So that'll be continuing. Pac-Man, I've got a couple of weeks of that left, I think. Maybe just the one. We'll see how it goes. Analytically and stuff, it's doing way better than I expected, and I don't necessarily have an immediate replacement for that. However, whoa, wrong button. Sorry. There are some games coming out soon that I would like to check out. One of them is actually next month. We haven't talked about it at all. In fact, I haven't even talked to like Gray or Kirsten or Tude or Nam or anybody about it. But there is a 4-player, I believe it's 4-player. Might be 3, but I'm 90% sure it's 4. 4-player cooperative game that everybody is going to want to see. Everybody. And that's the Ghostbusters game. The new Ghostbusters game, if you haven't seen anything, I've been trying not to watch much, but I've seen enough to know it looks good. And it's created by Ilphonic. I'm like 99% sure it's Ilphonic, who did the, they've done a lot of the sort of the asymmetric type of multiplayer games so I think you might even be able to play as the Ghost. So, we'll talk about that. Now, Kirsten, while you're here, I almost approached you with something last night. I was looking for a plan B. So I knew that Nam wasn't going to be available like midday yesterday. So I was kind of like, after I got all my work stuff done, I was like, okay, plan B. If, I had Reese and I had Tude and maybe Gray and, maybe Kirsten, right? So I was like, okay, so for Apex, I think I got it covered no matter what. Well, then everything fell through. Reese wasn't wanting to play because he stayed up too late. Tude was gone. I talked to Gray. Gray was like, Apex, I don't even have that on my console. I don't want to play that. Well, I ended up convincing him to get it on there and play a couple games with me, but he didn't have time to stream. So all of a sudden, it was down to 2, like me and maybe Kirsten. But last night I was like, going through games. And a long time ago, Tyler came to me with a great idea that we should play Family Feud. I believe Family Feud on PC was like $7. On console, it was $40. So we were kind of waiting for the game to drop down because there's no way I could afford to buy $40 games for everybody. And I didn't want everybody else it wasn't worth $40. Okay. End of story there. Well, it has gone on sale since then, but not enough. But there was another game. I'm trying to remember what it was. Not Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? It was it was Trivial Pursuit. Trivial Pursuit is on sale for like $7 right now. And it's like just random stuff. There's going to be like sports stuff that I'm going to know everything. And there's going to be like science stuff that I know nothing. You know what I mean? And like, it's like $7 right now. I feel like Trivial Pursuit would be fun. I played it when I was a kid. It was like a very 80s game. It has existed since then, but it was like in the 80s, maybe you know, maybe you don't. It was really popular for families to have game nights. And sometimes it was just within the family. Sometimes it was within the neighborhood. And with us, we had a family across the street. Ironically, it's the same family that I was talking about when I got my first finger grab. It's the Marabellas. Jason was my best friend growing up. The Marabellas and us, we used to have game nights all the time. And Trivial Pursuit was what, so we, and often the adults would play Trivial Pursuit, or we'd play one game where everyone would play, and then the kids would go take off. And Jason had a sister, and so she'd have friends over every once in a while too, and they'd go their way, and we'd go into Jason's room and play video games, and run across the street to my house and play video games. And so Trivial Pursuit's like straight up from my childhood, but I have not played it since my childhood. We have a set here. My wife, her family they played cards and cribbage and all. I mean, they were huge, and they didn't have video games to play. As I mentioned the other day too, they didn't have cable, so they played a lot of board games. And we've got Clue, we've got Life, we've got Monopoly, we've got all that stuff from back in the day. And Trivial Pursuit's one, but we never played. So I don't know. We'll have to talk about that more and see. I mean, me versus you, I think it's 4 players. So like if we could round up 4 players, that might be fun. I mean, Brad's pretty knowledgeable. I don't know how available he'll be. He just switched to the night or the day, whatever shift. So seems like he might be available. So we'll have to talk about that and figure some things out, because I think at $7, I could probably cover a couple copies to get us invested into that. And whether it happens right away or maybe months down the road, I don't know. But let's see here. A friend of mine has a Harry Potter trip. Ooh. See, and I don't know if there's any like mods or any kind of downloads or I didn't look into that at all. So that's a possibility too. Bet raise. Yeah. See, and again, yeah. So it's something that like a lot of us could participate. And I believe it's a PS4 game too. So that does open the door up for some others as well. I think I'll have to double check that. All right, guys. So as far as the list goes, I was trying to keep it at about an hour and a half. I've got Patreon shouts, and that's all that's on my list for today. If you guys want to ask any questions about like the car show, about the convenience tour, about COVID, about plans for whatever, I do have a little bit of an update on, I was looking to see if I got my code for Bricktails, but I don't have it yet. I do have a little bit of an update on my ID4, which is the Volkswagen. Wait, what's this? House passes spending bill to fund federal government through December 16th. Okay, this is breaking news. I don't know. It's not important to me, I guess, but probably means something big, but not whatever. So yeah, let's see here. Oop, Gray sent me a photo. What's Gray sending me? Every time. So stupid. Oh, you're planning on playing Ragnarok. Why didn't you say so earlier? As I mentioned, there's parts of that appeal to me, but there's also, I mean, we'll see what else is on like the agenda. Like if I don't have anything, if I'm like really hurting for content, that might be a possibility. We might have to work it out too, where you and I get in a chat and somehow you like share player, and then like we take it for a spin, like compliments of Brad, or I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I want to spend $70 on that game just to play it for 5 minutes and go, I hate this game. But it's possible I might like it. I've played a lot of games since then, a lot of games that have challenged my likeness of menus or dislike of menus, if you will, because I don't like this stuff. Like there's like looking for games to play in the fact that maybe I wasn't going to be able to play Apex today. There were so many games that were interesting. There's this game called Weird West. It's been on my list for a long time. There's a lot of that game that appeals to me. There's a lot of grind to that game that just turns me off too. So it's like, even though it's on sale and it's even in Robert price range, it's down to $20 now. I just couldn't jump onto it. There's a lot of RPG stuff, and it was a lot of like grindy grinds. So I was like, no. There's that Who Pressed Mute on Uncle Marcus. I have no idea what that game really is, how long it would take to play. What's up, Demon? But it was a possibility, but it was like, $13 again. I was like, I just don't know. There's just certain things that like appeal to me and certain things that don't. And sadly, I've basically run the gauntlet on all of the games that I really wanted to play. And there's games that are coming out that I want to play, like the Ghostbusters game. I definitely want to play and check out a little bit more Call of Duty when it comes out. So I believe it's the 21st. It's a Friday, whatever it is, coming up. I'll be playing the campaign because Reese gets early access. He bought like the Mega Moo Maximum Edition to get everything early. And, because we share accounts, I'm able to get that access too. In fact, I just got an email this morning that said, hey, thanks for playing the beta. You logged this many hours and did this much and blah, blah, blah. And we're going to give you this and that. And I was like, I don't care about no stupid banner or whatever they give me for my, I'm not into that. But definitely want to check out the campaign, right? Like that's going to be grueling. So I definitely like the story-based stuff, but at the same time, like it just depends on how RPG it is or how, there's things about Borderlands that I really like, but there's also things that I can't stand. A lot of those games too are better served with multiple players, and sometimes it's hard to find somebody that's on the same like learning, like you don't want like a level 200 playing with you, but you also don't want somebody that's never played and doesn't really want to play it either. So, finding that balance and then having the availability for them to play with, it's definitely getting harder to find the stuff that I want to enjoy and play. And I find too that if I'm not enjoying it or if it's frustrating to me, although it might be funny for a minute to see like me get upset or die or rage out, like that gets pretty unfun pretty quick for everybody. So anyways, a lot of games are grinding. Yeah, some of them are. I mean, PvZ comes to mind. Oh man, I keep hoping that I'm gonna get some sort of like, you came to the convenience tour. You get early access to. No, I'm not going to get early access. That would be awesome, though. All right, hey, let's do patron shouts, and then we'll revisit the whole concept. If you guys got any questions or anything like that, now would be the time to start typing, so that here in a second I will see it and get to answer. I mean, maybe you guys are good. Maybe you don't have any questions. Maybe you're ready to be done. Like, all right, I don't want to miss this stream, but I'm ready for him to be done. As it sits, Demon, no. Originally, we were going to stream Apex at 10, but some real life stuff came up for my team that was expected to play with me. And so I just ended up pulling the plug. I looked for some other games. I looked this morning. I looked at Game Pass games. There's just nothing that I find that like you guys would be excited about that I would want to play, right? I was surprised with Pac-Man. Like there are probably some games out there that do exist that meet that criteria, but I almost bought like Roller Drone. There was a few, like I mentioned, the Weird West. Like there was a few that I looked at. I definitely have a few games on my list. Let's see if I can find a release date. There's two games coming out right now. Two, whatchamacallit, Saints Row is also on sale. It's like $40 or something. Obviously it bombed, so not doing super well. Moving forward, games that are on my radar for sure. Hogwarts Legacy is a possibility. Skull and Bones, possibility. Dead Island 2, very high probability. Goat Simulator 3, very high probability. God of War Ragnarok, possible. Saints Row is on sale 10% off. Oh, it must be different now. I just looked at it, like I swear it was yesterday, and I swear it said $44. $44. Normally it's 70, isn't it? I must have looked at the wrong thing. Ghostbusters. Let's see here. When does this come out? It is PS4, PS5. 10/18. So that's only a couple weeks away. Wait a minute. Okay, so it says one player supports up to 5 online. So I believe it's 4v1. Yep, it is. The title is a 4v1 setup where players will either play as part of the team of new Ghostbusters or a singular ghost. This game will allow players to enjoy a game solo or with up to 4 friends. It will have online and offline. Gadgets, PKE meters, proton packs, ghost traps. Firehouses in the game. And yes, you will hear the original film actors reprising their roles as Ray Stantz and Winston. Ray Stantz. Wasn't Ray Stantz? Okay, yeah, so that's Dan Aykroyd. That makes sense. I was gonna say, wait a minute. It's not Spangler. All right. What else we got? Let's see here. Saints Row. I haven't seen Saints Row come through here. Another one that's the people have been asking me about is Gotham Knights. That might be one I might even be able to get a code for. And if I can get a code, I'm a lot more likely to check it out. There's this game Freezer Pops that keeps popping up. I don't recommend looking it up, but the cover art is hilarious. Let's see here. There seems like there was another game for Wednesdays. Like I'm like, I feel like there was a game coming out like this week or next week. Not Ghostbusters, but I'm not seeing it. I am looking at PS5 games. Maybe it was a PS4. It's weird to me that there's still like PS4 games and that aren't 5. Wasn't NBA 2K? Wasn't Biomutant? Fall of the Porcupine. I almost pulled that out today too. I was like, what the crap is this? Well, maybe I was thinking of the Lego Brick Tales. That was probably what my other. So I will be playing that, and it'll likely take over on Wednesdays when I'm done with Pac-Man. And then maybe we'll do another, viewer choice vote. I mean, that's always a possibility. Are you smarter than a 50? Yes. No. Saints Row's 25% off. I'm looking at it right now. PS4, PS5. 25% off, $44.99. So I don't know if you're just like, well, I'm not even signed in. What the crap? I was gonna say, I don't know if you're not signed in or not, but that's the standard edition. The gold edition isn't on sale at all. And the Platinum Edition is on sale too. It's $25 off. It's actually $75 instead of $100. I just saw it changed. What do you mean it changed? You must have seen it the other day, right? That's what you're saying. And Arcade Paradise is also on there. When we look at I guess you guys can't see what I feel like you guys are watching my screen here, which is not happening, but RoboCop is another game that's on my list that I'd like to see soon. The Callisto Protocol looks like it's like total clinch material. I've got this game called Dark Mean City that was just recently announced that's on my list. I don't even remember adding it to my list. Like, I feel like it added itself, but it does look interesting after looking at it. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, still just barely announced, not out for a while. Sonic Frontiers, I definitely will be checking that out when that comes out. Not likely guide, just stream it. People ask often if I'm going to do guides on other games. I've tried to get interest in other franchises, other game types, and it just never seems to really take off and get any ground covered. So a lot of the games don't really like even look at Last of Us Part 2. Game was huge. Lots of people bought it. Lots of people loved it. Most of my videos still don't even have 1,000 views yet. And they were done like Lego, the same type of formula. And I even took out all the bad guys. Like, if you follow along and watch the videos, like, commentary is uplifting. It's fun. I give you all sorts of tips and tricks along the way. I talk about how certain guys are patrolling certain things. Like I feel like I put my life and my heart and soul into that, and Reese helped me do all that, and like, it just didn't work out. Ooh, look, Who Pressed Mute on Uncle Marcus is actually only $7.79. That would be fun. I don't think I put let's go back and check Sonic Frontiers. What happened to looking too much like, well, so It does. It does look a ton like that. But Reese buys, I tries. I mean, that's kind of the rule, right? So it's a Sonic game. You better believe he's gonna buy it. Let's see here. Trivial Pursuit. Okay. It's weird. I just typed in Trivial Pursuit and like no games showed up. Oh, because I spelled it wrong. But it's still not there. What the crap? This is weird. Wow. That's interesting. It's only showing me Jackbox Party Game. So yesterday I came into games, actually shop, buy PS5 games. See, I just searched it and it's not showing up. Like, what? Like, it won't. Trivial Pursuit. Okay, there it is now. Okay. So one is Trivial Pursuit Live 2, and one is Trivial Pursuit Live. So which one is gooder, I wonder? One is $15. Minor Twist in the World. Doesn't it says live, but it doesn't even show that like you can play with people. Two looks like you can. What the crap just happened? English, French, German, Spanish, take place on showcase. So yeah, it's not showing me. It does say 1 to 4 players though. Okay, so supports up to 4 online players with plus. Nice. Yeah, well, that would be fun. That we'll have to do that, and it's on sale now. I'll probably work it out so that like a couple of us can grab it and play it. When it'll actually happen, I'm not sure. Maybe we can do like Trivial Tuesdays. Throw that in for a week or 3 and see how it works. We'll have to talk about that when Raised gets home later. We'll bring it up for her. All right, let's do Patreon shouts, huh? Yeah, only 4 people can play, but that's pretty standard with most cooperative games. I still want to play Hypercharge Unboxed, which is like the little action figure game. It is a PC only game. I just really need to just figure out my PC stuff. Ultimately, so the problem has been I've tried to set it up on this computer that I normally stream from, but the reality of it is that this computer has way more computing power and would likely be better for a PC stream. This is perfect for what I'm doing now because a lot of the converting and the encoding happens with my box when I'm playing games, whereas the computer has. And so anyways, you can stream different PCs. Like I could play the game here, run the HDMI into my other card, and there's a lot of ways I could do it. There's an easy way where you just add a layer and then apply it, but for some reason I can't get it to work on this other PC. Whether it's a Brian thing, whether it's a screen, it's like needs to be prioritized because I have 2 screens, so I have to tell it which one to look for, and so there's some confusing stuff that I'm not used to. But if I can get that figured out, then I'd be able to play. Like Task Force is another game that I really want to check out with you guys. I'm probably going to be terrible at it, but it's relatively inexpensive. It's like $7, and it's basically a modern day SOCOM 1, 2, and there's some other maps involved. So the physics and everything, the way the game plays, there's no look down sight. There's just like a shoot, and then there's like a closer up shoot. It's sort of like a first person, but it's not. Jumping is very different and almost whimsical. Grenade tosses are very primitive. The game is very basic, but it is SOCOM. And they've got SOCOM source maps where they've literally taken the source code from the maps and recreated them in the new engine and beautified them, make them look all pretty. So like games and matches that I used to play 20 years ago are available again in this new form, but I don't have it set up. So there's that too. Brewmaster, I did see that. I actually I wanted to pass it on to my buddy who I'm going to meet up with tomorrow, who's hooking me up with that discounted case. He works for a distributing company, and my favorite beer right now is $11 a pint at the store. Not even kidding. $11 for one beer of 1 pint in a can. It's 9.4% alcohol, which is like double the amount most alcohols, or more than that in some cases. So it's really high end, high powered, and it's coming from Colorado. So there's some transportation fees and stuff you got to pay as well. But $11 a can, 12 cans, that's $130 or so. 100, you factor in like the 10 cents a can for the deposit and everything too. So it adds up really fast. I get a case from him for like $78. Super stoked. So I'm going to be doing some adulting tomorrow night, but, he actually brews beer too, which is another reason why I brought that up and wanted to share that game with him. All right, Patreon. Hey guys, these people and Ben showed up at the last minute, which unfortunately I did not have time to add his name and re-render and reapply and assign the button to. So Ben is added to this list. Big shout out to Ben. But here you go. These are the $5 and up. These guys have been supporting for a long time in many cases. Some are a little more recent, but much love to all of these people who are helping keep the lights on in this this drought that we're living in right now in the YouTube world. But yes, so big time thanks to all these guys. And Ben's on that list too. Okay. Big time shout outs. All right. Next up is the $10 and up supporters who, all these people have gone above and beyond on Patreon to support us here. And we'll start off with Dougie Fresh 613. Big time shout out to our guy, Dougie. I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't reached out to him either, so that's my bad. But to the much love. Thanks for your continued support. Doug was one of the first people to support us on Patreon because he was actively involved with us still back then, and I think he was trying to boost up the stats to make it look good, encourage more people to feel confident in spending money with us. And it's just sort of stuck there. I don't even know if he remembers it's there. But thank you, Dougie, either way. Next up, Smallville 2011. Big shout out to Andrew. Thanks for all the support, man. And I know we haven't seen you in a day or three, but often you're out there lurking. So hope all is well for you and yours, and would love to see you. Next up, today's nemesis of mine said some pretty fight-worthy type of things about one of my favorite humans on the planet, Kevin Smith. You know who you are, Josh Main. Thanks for your support, man. I'm just kidding, of course. I have no beef with you. If you don't like Kevin, that's totally fine. I'll argue with you and tell you why Kevin is awesome. So it sounds like I like Kevin for the same reasons that you dislike Kevin. I can't make it up, bro. I can't make that up. All right, next up, newly added to the $10 and up shout outs, and I do believe he might still be on break. We've got Justin Richter. Hopefully it's Richter. I've never actually asked, I don't think. I think I've probably botched it a few times, but I guess it could be Richter. I mean, that sounds like a word I would use, Richter, like I'm richer than that other guy over there. Like it's kind of like almost like like some of my hillbilly type slang. I don't even know if that's an appropriate word to say anymore. I'm sorry if it's not, but moving along. But big time shout out to Justin. Thank you, sir. Hopefully you're having a good Friday break, and one of these days our paths will cross in Salem. I'm sure of it. Next up, Adam Barnfather. Haven't seen Adam in a minute. Now, probably my bad, as I have not been playing much Lego stuff. I know that Adam was very regular, especially on our Sunday streams. But lately, I know life is probably kicked up, and we'll hopefully see him soon. But doesn't change the fact that I still greatly appreciate your support, not only on the streams, Patreon, everything else. I said it right. Yes, nailed it. First try. I mean, I knew I had it right. I was just trying to get you to play along. No, I didn't. As soon as I got to it, I was like, oh no, I should know this, and I don't. All right, next up, I know he was out there earlier. Hopefully he still is. Michael Karsberg. Thank you so much for your continued support, Michael. It's always good to see you. Let's see here. Adam, where are you? Barn fart. Come on, Chacho. Come on. You forgot a letter or two, bro. Nice. Michael is still here. Thank you for your support, sir. Greatly appreciated. Last but not least on this list of $10 and up supporters, we've got Bonnie Miller. Thank you so much for your continued support, Bonnie. Much love. Love to see you on stream. We used to see you quite often. I'm sure the schedules just don't line up anymore. Again, likely something that we can fault on my end. We'll point the finger at me. It's my fault. My bad. All right. So something else I want to point out. I don't know how soon this will happen. It will not start tomorrow. Okay. That's the best I can give you with this. It will not start tomorrow. But I am going to try and get it set up this weekend so that the following weekend, my wife and I can check out The Quarry on a Saturday night for a Saturday Scream stream. It's October. We have been historically known for Oktoberfest, right? A lot of people do Oktoberfest, not around here. Since the early days, we have always kind of chose October to be one of our months of like randomness, trying new things out. We many moons ago, we started a small sort of news thing that Mal was running. We haven't seen Mal in probably 6 or 7 years. So this has definitely been a thing that's been ongoing more behind the scenes than in front of the scenes. But ultimately, Oktoberfest will be a time for us to hopefully check that out. Now, it is a very greasy, bloody game. And I feel like we're beyond any restrictions or expectations, right? I feel like the people who want to watch the Lego will watch the Lego, and the people who want to watch the other stuff will watch the other stuff. And if you don't want to watch it, you're not going to try and, poo-poo on me. Like, there was a time where I would get a lot of crap for playing a certain type of game. Like, even Call of Duty, I'd be like, and you look back historically, we were playing Call of Duty before we were even playing Lego. So, Battlefield 3 beta, I think it was. Maybe it was even 2. It was a long time ago. Whenever it was way back, that was one of our first videos with Battlefield. Like, literally, the first video we uploaded to the channel was Battlefield beta. So, shooter, right? Like, so, I mean, historically, most people know us. Our niche has definitely been Lego. But ultimately, we played everything. Like, somebody the other day was asking me, too. I was chatting, and they were like, hey, I didn't know you streamed. They were like, been watching you for years, bro. Like, oh, I didn't know you streamed. I'm like, how do you not, like, if you've really been truly following us and watching us for years, how are you unaware? It just baffles me. And I'm not like trying to start a fight with anybody or make anybody feel bad or shame anybody. Like, you watch what you watch, and that's awesome that sometimes it's us. But like, when people try to flex and like, oh yeah, I've been a fan forever. And then we're like, oh, have you ever been to our stream? Oh, you stream? Or when somebody shows up too, you guys have seen this countless times. Oh my God, you got a face reveal. You've revealed your face. I'm like, they're like, I've been watching you for years. Totally never knew what you look like. I'm like, wait a minute. You've been watching me for years, but you've never seen my face? I do a Gamebreak every single month that has my face on it. I've done, I don't know, at least 50 unboxings and mystery mail videos. Like I've definitely had my face all over the channel for years. And it's just funny to me when people show up. Annihilator, what is up? Welcome. So it's always fun to me. Like I love it when somebody does that, the flex, right? Like, oh, I've been one of your biggest fans forever. Oh, I've never known what you look like. I've never hid behind a camera. I know some people are less comfortable. I always make jokes. I got a face for radio. Whatever. I know that no matter how handsome I feel I am, there's always somebody more handsome. And no matter how ugly I feel I am, there's always somebody more ugly. So I've just kind of learned to live that I'm, somewhere in that plane of existence. And, I just try to keep the humor flowing to, repel any haters of the facers. You know what I'm Let's see here. Maybe let me. Well, yeah, I mean, some people obviously watched a few videos when they were 10, and now they're 19, right? And we're still here making videos. So not everybody watches every day or knows what's going on, but it's when somebody does show up and flexes. Oh my God, I've been watching you for so long, and I can't believe I showed your face. It's like. Yep. First time today. You caught me. You're so lucky you showed up today on the first time I've ever revealed my face. You know what I mean? Like, again, not trying to shame anybody. I appreciate any and all support we get. Tons of people still don't even know we exist. And other circles were household names, right? Like, I've been out in the wild at a Lego store and had somebody see my shirt and be like, no way, I and my cousin watch you and blah, 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 blah. Right. And like, I've had that. I mean, it doesn't happen very often, but it has happened. And, another thing, check this out. I didn't even share this. Mind blown. Right. I've been on a PR list for a particular publishing group probably since 2014. That was the first year I believe I went to PAX. And since I got in and was part of media at PAX, I've been on a bunch of lists. Most of the stuff I get from tons of these lists is like mobile games or PC games or indie games that nobody's ever heard of. Oftentimes I'm getting contacted via the PR company, but it's really like the developer. And it's like, we're a 2-man development team. We built this mobile game. We'd like you to play it. Let us know what your fees are. And I'm like, I'm not playing a mobile game, and I don't even know how to, like, nobody, what? So a lot of the stuff just goes by the wayside, right? I don't even pay attention, and I move on. However, the other day, I was hit up by the same guy. Jeff is his first name. I see emails from Jeff 3 times, 4 times a week. And I don't ignore them all. There have been some games that have come through from Jeff, and I appreciate all the support and opportunities he's provided. But Jeff was telling me, hey, we're getting ready to release Lego Brick Tales, blah, 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 right? I read that whole email to you the other day. And he said, all you need to do is tell me what your preferred platform is and what your region is. And so, different people have different region, like different consoles have different, like usually I'm North America, right? Like I'm usually North America. So I put North America, and in parentheses, I put Salem, Oregon. And I just thought, okay, he could check the map if there's any question or whatever, right? And he goes, bro, we got you. As soon as the codes come in, I'll hit you up. Oh, and by the way, shout out to a fellow Oregonian. I was like, nah, this dude ain't from Oregon. I don't know what he's talking about. I go and I look, and guess what? The company's from the UK. I'm like, this dude ain't from Oregon. But I look, Jeff, last name, his position, and his email, and his phone number, 503. I looked right at the wife and went, get out of here. This dude's been sending me emails for almost a decade, and I have had no clue he's in Oregon the whole time. So like now I want to hang out with this dude. I've never met him. I've probably received, I bet you if I looked it up, let me see. Let me look. Let me get his full name, and then I'll run a quick Google search. Because I know what it is, but I couldn't spell it right to get a search. Okay, so it was Wednesday. Come on, where's my responded? Oh, wait. I didn't do it here, though. I didn't do it here. It's on my other. That's right. It's on my main one. All right, let me log into my main one real quick, and then all right, sent. Yeah, this dude has been sending me emails. Okay, inbox. Well, it keeps loading, but now it's saying error detected too. It's like it's searching, but it's not completing. It goes all the way back to 2020, and it shows there's over 100 emails here. He's got another one I just got, looks like this morning. Play the demo for open world adventure Kaku? 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 Ancient Seal? What? Okay, wait a minute. What is happening? Let's see here. View this email in your browser. No, I want view this. No. Here's the trailer. Is it really an ancient seal? Like what? I better turn that down. Bingo Bell presents. Visually, it looks nice. It's a cutscene. So, I mean, it's expected. What's up, Brian? And Tony's back too. What's up, Tony? Welcome back. There's a link. I think that'll work for you guys. And that's the Keku. This is another opportunity that I have from the same guy. So, like I said, he's from Oregon. Like, I need to definitely like recognize that. Whoa, did that? I swear that big old hog just went hog wild. I have no idea what's going on, you guys. I don't know if you're watching the same thing I am or not. What? What? I don't know why the Crudes comes to mind looking at this animation, but it does. It very much. Not even supposed to be here today. What's up, Block? This is weird. I feel like it's going to be sort of like a Spyro type game or something, just based on this cutscene. But I'm not even sure what's going on. He's got like this weird, like, there's some weird stuff going on, you guys. So far, I'm like intrigued though. Like, what? Oh, snap. Well, I wonder if they're going to actually show us any like gameplay. I appreciate this cutscene, but I mean, there's even some. What? So there's definitely different biomes too. You could see there was like a very lush green area, very swampy area, an icy area, a desert area. All definitely have their own specific baddies from the areas. Like I mean, I haven't seen any physical gameplay yet, but again, I feel like it's going to be like a Spyro type of game, like a platforming 3D open world. There's a link that I just posted at 11:34 lock. Here, I'll post it again. Oh, nope, that's not it. Coming 2023. Well, what the crap? Why is it acting like I can get the game right now? Let me see what this email said again. Oh, it does say for 2023. Ahead of its release, are giving everyone a chance to get an early taste of their open world action adventure fantasy game with a new demo. Available September 30th through October 1st. Demo will introduce you to magical world of Let's Players Magic and their own. Huh. So that's like today. I wonder if there is more. Okay, that went to an Assassin's Creed video. I want to see more videos. I guess I'll subscribe to their channel. Show some love. Yeah, it says the demo's available today, but I don't see any. I don't know. That could be fun. That could be like, that could be fun. And of course, it's from my guy here. Like all their stuff's from the UK, but his contact number is 503. That's nuts. Well, I might have to reach out and see if I can get something. Maybe there will be a stream today. I don't really have anything else planned, so it's kind of just hanging on notice here. Wait, on this day, what is this? Microsoft OneDrive on this day, September 30th. Oh, I guess we're coming up on our 11th year anniversary because last year was the 10-year anniversary. That's weird. I don't think I've ever seen. So Microsoft OneDrive is available or is now giving you memories like Facebook does. What? Like on this day last year, you uploaded these files. Like what? OneDrive. Microsoft OneDrive is now doing that. It's kind of redonkulous. Oh, I hear Reese down there. He's officially up. Let's see here. Brian, watch the demo trailer. It has gameplay. Okay, already left the page. Dang it. Let's see here. Where's that link again? There's the sale trailer. Maybe this is it? This is a different link. Where does this take me? The demo trailer. Is that what you said? The demo trailer? Yeah. Okay. 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 So I mean, it is kind of Spyro-y, but also like, huh? Oh, it's demo only available on Steam. It says PS4, PS5, and PC. Play the demo, coming to PC. Okay, wait a minute. Does it says ahead of its release on PS, a chance to get a taste of new demo available for server. Demo will introduce, but it doesn't say if the demo is available on console. It says over and over and over again it'll be due in 2023 on PC, PS4, PS5. So it's exclusive to those three platforms. But it doesn't say. I mean, is there? Can you download it from the store? I don't know if I spelled it right. Is it CACU? Sorry, KAKU. No, there's definitely. I'm not getting anything in the store. Well, it does say to request a review code, please contact. Oh, that's funny. Jeff's name's messed up. Huh. Interesting. We'll have to look into that. Well, guys, let's see here. It kind of reminds me of Cannot Bridge of Spring. You know, I never played that game. I've heard good things about it. That's a good question. I wonder if they'll do a trial. Yeah, I mean, the game's not expected out until next year, so lots of time. Most people, I mean, I've never heard of it until right now. Any of you heard of it until right now? It's probably not like a very popular expectation or whatever, but well, guys, I mean, the game break went a lot longer than I could have imagined it would. Any questions or thoughts or requests or anything? Kenna's really good. I should play it. Okay. I think I own it. Well, that was weird. Something just like fell. Sounded something small, like Race is downstairs banging stuff around too, but it wasn't that. But yeah, all right, guys. Well, much love to you all. Thanks for hanging out today. Always appreciate your support in and out of the streams. I know a lot of you watch the videos. A lot of you have been dropping super thankses, super chats, supporting us with memberships, Patreon, all the above. Pretty awesome of you guys. I will see you next month, I guess. It's always weird saying that, right? Because it's like Next month starts tomorrow. I will be uploading a Lego Star Wars Planet video tomorrow. As it sits Sunday, there will be not anything planned. Monday, we'll be back with Power Wash Sim, as I showed you on the stream schedule. Tuesday, we will have a planet space video, a space area video. And then Wednesday, we'll be back with what might be the final Pac-Man stream. Just depending on how far I get and what's left on the list, I may go long on that, and I may bring it back the following week. And that may be the last stream period, even if I don't finish it. We'll just see how things go analytically. And then Thursday is open for who knows what. I'm going to maybe try to slide in a Trivial Tuesdays. I feel like that might be a thing for a week or two. I don't know if anybody would want to see that. I mean, it would be like a battle of wits between whoever shows up, right? And I mean, listen, I know there's going to, like, if Nom would probably cheat and use Google. I mean, he's a smart dude anyways, but like he's quick enough that he could use Google and get away with it. I'd be worried about y'all too, because I'm on camera. So if you see me typing away, or if I'm on my phone talking to it or something, like, y'all could see me. The rest of you are free for whatever. Something else that Paz and I have talked about a lot. As you guys probably know, Paz lives in Florida. The hurricane passed by him. Luckily, it passed by him for reasons I won't go into. This could have been really bad for them. And it lucked out it wasn't. So that there's really nothing else left to talk about there. But Paz and I have always wanted to set up a podcast, but like a visual podcast. So like, have a camera space for me, a camera space for him, and then like whoever else was on it too. If it was Kirsten, have a spot for her, and anybody who wanted to be involved that was scheduled to be on there could potentially have at least a mic, if not a camera and a mic. And the one thing that might make that a possibility. So none of us live in the same area, right? Like, I mean, Mike lives close. Mike could come over and we could set up a system where Mike had a camera and I had a camera. But I mean, beyond that, there's really not opportunities. Like Gray in Belgium and Kirsten in LA and Raised in Washington. Like, everyone's very far. Like Todd's in Ohio and Paz is in Florida. And so scattered almost as far as we can get from each other. There is a new feature. I have not used it yet. I'm looking at it right now. A new notification has popped up, and it's called Collab Cam. I don't know what that really means, but as soon as I saw it, the way I interpreted it, Collab Cam, like collab, right? Short for collaboration. Cam, short for camera. Collab Cam. I feel like that is something that might be an option. And so what I'm thinking that might be is a way that somebody can like somehow plumb in a video camera. So, I don't like when I look here, it doesn't say Collab Cam. Okay, here it is. What does it say? Invite guests to join your stream from a web browser. So I don't know how that'll work. Like, we'll have to tool around with that and see. But yeah, and Kirsten's reading some stuff too. It looks stream with friends, guests, and extra cameras. So, and that's something that like XSplit was known for having years ago. XSplit is another paid service, sort of like Slobs, but again, it's a paid service. I never was sure that I wanted to. In fact, look, I have a promo code here. I don't want to like show you the code because I don't want it to be used, but like XSplit, you can see, and this is something that I've had and my eye on for many years, and just never got around to putting. I have a code that I got with like one of my capture devices, but so yeah, the possibilities of, having a multicam podcast might be easier. I know it can be done, right? I know it can be done because like I've seen other people do it, whether it was on Twitch or other platforms. Like I've seen Twitter posts, right, where people are, showing clips of like, oh, this guy was hating on me, so I had to get, and they're friends, so they were just like bantering. It wasn't like a volatile situation, but like clips, and there's 4 or 5 people on camera, and I know they don't live in the same house, so I know they didn't go to like a location and set up in like a shop or a warehouse or a studio, so yeah, I know that it's possible, and I know that, like I said, I'm pretty sure Twitch has had a feature, but nobody ever watched me on Twitch. And maybe it's because we were doing the multi-streams and people were able to see us here and they were used to YouTube, but the problem was that if you didn't follow us on YouTube, you never knew we were streaming on Twitch. So if I didn't do the multi-streams, you didn't know we were streaming. And even with YouTube streams, people still don't know, as we were talking about that 5-10 minutes ago. So, yeah, I listen, it was Paz's idea. He's wanted to do it. I told him months ago, hey, you make it happen and I'll show up. Because he was like, listen, I'll ask all the questions. I'll sort of be the host, if you will, and then you just be like, I don't remember what he referred to me as, like the entertainment or the, whatever. And I was like, okay. And the goal was to have, sort of a rhythm and like maybe each week have a guest on besides us and have like a small format with like questions, and maybe some accolades that people like. So if I have somebody of some stature, right, somebody that's done something, who they are to me or how we met or whatever, right, and then just have that slide into like one day of the week, where it's like an hour and a half long or something like that, but I've never put any effort into it because the technology wasn't available to me. So Paz is a Twitch guy. Paz could have potentially set it up months ago there and made it work. Same sort of situation though, where he didn't have a huge following. I didn't have any following really. So we wouldn't really, it would be starting from scratch. Now that it's available potentially from here, that would be awesome. And I'm guessing it probably has something to do with like, you probably have to log into Streamlabs website and you probably have to like attach a camera, and then there's probably some sort of like a code or some sort of invite system that works that people can use it. Yes, and people use video chat in Discord too. I have seen that as well. Reese is always on a Discord call. I've not really had much luck with Discord interfacing on my streams, and I use the Streamlabs online broadcasting software, and I know a lot of people just use the online broadcasting software. As I've said before, I always thought Streamlabs was like the premium version of OBS, which is why I chose it over OBS. OBS seems simple. There's all this extra features like functionality, like the automated, like when somebody subscribes, it would show it. When somebody donated, it would show it. OBS, when I was first looking, it didn't have, like, you had to do all this extra stuff, and it was just easier for me to do it on Streamlabs. So I went with Streamlabs. And then later I found out that Streamlabs basically stole the source code from OBS and then was even using the OBS name, which is crazy to me. But they ended up getting in a big lawsuit and they had to change their name and a bunch of stuff. And so now they're separate entities and everybody knows that. But I haven't really wanted to start over because if OBS has a file you can export, and Slobs has an importer but it doesn't go the other way. So I can't export from Slobs and then import into OBS. It's so backwards. So, all that being said, I, could potentially look into that moving forward, but we'll see. We'll see how it all works out. Invite system is confirmed. Yeah. At some point I will likely sit down and really try to mess, and maybe I'll do it today. I don't have a lot planned. There's a possibility I could go and set that up. I want to get my PC stuff set up. And if I get it all set up here, it should mirror when I log in on this computer too. Or maybe it just works on this one, because I got a decent video card and a decent processor and a ton of RAM. So ultimately it should be okay, but it's always, like this one's better, right? This one, I bought this because I do all my rendering, I do all my editing, I do my photoshopping. And a lot of the time I have like multiple tabs open on Chrome. I've got Photoshop open. I've got my editor Premiere open, and then I've got Skype and Discord. And, so I've got a lot of just overall stuff happening all the time. And then you throw in any extra stuff, or if I'm rendering something or actually doing something intensive in Photoshop where there's a lot of active pixels or with tracking, it definitely chews up memory. And so I always like to have all my work on this one and then stream on that one, but I might have to start streaming. I thought about just going to a one PC setup because this one's pretty fast. It's got a 3070 and i7 and, but I think 64 gigs of RAM. It's up there, but we'll see. We'll see as time goes on. You guys got any last minute hoorahs, questions? Oh, yes, anything? Let's see here. Anything breaking on the Twitter sphere? No. Just kind of giving a second or two. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Much love to you all. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And just know that, I'll be back on Monday with a live. And of course, I'll be around in video form tomorrow for a planetary video. Which, what's tomorrow's planet? It is Kanto Bite from the Kantanaka planet. So, if you've been out there waiting for that, we're getting down there, you guys. We literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more planets, and we have 11 space areas. So we only have 22 videos, 11 more weeks worth of free roam. I will likely get it done before we get to that 11th week. And if I do, I'll probably pump out a few extra videos and speed up the process. I want to have some content for like the holidays, like when Santa shows up. And I definitely don't want to be having to work during then. I will likely do some streams, before and after. But yeah, so we'll have to see. I'd love to set it up too. So like we did our Christmas morning with you guys. I don't know how the family will feel about that. Cause like we're all in our PJs with like bed head and like coffee hasn't kicked in yet and things like that. But, ultimately we'll see. I mean, like I said, I'm going to try to work out the camera setup for the Scream streams. That's one of my priorities this weekend. And then, just moving forward, we'll see what's up. Let's see here. I have 2 NVMe drives. Yeah, I actually, this computer has a solid state drive and then just a traditional drive. And most of my programs and installs are on my solid state, where all my extra crap files and working files are all on the main drive. I noticed yesterday though, my solid state's like full. It's like 60 gigs left or something out of like, I don't know how many, 500 or something. And so I had to go like look and see, but it turns out most of my stuff is Adobe. The Creative Suite is like over 100 gigabytes. I've got a couple of games that I mentioned that I'd like to play that are installed on this PC, also taking up some of that space. And then all my other randomness, Chrome's got some weight. There's definitely some stuff in there, but anyways, one of these days I need to upgrade that hard drive probably, but so far I've been able to manage with, 2 PCs set up and then 1 PC. That's cool. That's kind of how mine is in a way too, but it's not at all. And I prefer having one login, one location versus having to bounce back and forth. I like being able to just drag and drop things all in one thing. Like I love the OneDrive because I can move stuff from one PC to the other without having to connect file or wires or anything like that. It's all just, it's done through the network, but, right on. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call it good. Wrap it up there. Thank you so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed the September game break. I flapped my yap for almost 2 hours. And with the premiere page chatting before, definitely over 2 hours. So hope you guys have a great weekend. I look forward to streaming Power Wash Simulator on Monday. And like I said, enjoy your weekend. Be safe and do all the things you want to do. If you guys have not already, please check out happythumbsgaming.com. We got trophy achievement guides and more there. We're also available on social media. I'd love to see you chatting, liking, and posting things on our socials. So get over there and check them out. As for me, though, that's going to do it, guys. As always, until next time.